Hey, Hardin County, it's Michelle Labus, and I want to give you the Wessler update. So this is for Road Edition. So Luke had come in. There's been 2 meetings with Luke Underwood and Wessler, who's doing infrastructure work in Hardin County. So basically, the commissioners are approving one of the 2 plans for Road Edition. I mean, kind of. The one is to put in a lift station for the root package plant, sewer package plant, and then to cover the houses there on Fairway, right there on 144, and then sending it to Kenton. The other one is covering that same area, but then adding in additional usage for a possible housing, right? So they kind of said, oh, there's a plot of land over there. Is it 179? Meyers Additions here, and across the road there's a big field there that it doesn't have to be there, but it is a logical place that if they had housing come in, that you could tie into there and I don't know, send sewer down to Kenton. So it's an extra like $5,000 to kind of do the plan for that. It is not engineering plans. This is a continuation of the study, right? But they're going to do the study with this. I'm assuming the commissioners are going to go for the extra housing. They talked about having an additional lift station put in there, kind of thing. I got to be real honest with you. I don't understand the need for this project. I mean, I know that from what I've gathered from the meetings, and I've had additional conversations with Luke and Shane Lotz at the health department and whoever else. I mean, I've done a lot of research just gathering with like forest and, you know, how do you tie in these different things? And so just a lot of research has gone into this, and I still don't understand why we're doing it. The package plant there at Root Edition, Luke says it's going to be, should be good for another 20 years. They are having too much flow through it because people are tied into it through sewer or through their stormwater. But other than that, it doesn't necessarily need to be replaced. It's serving everybody there in Root Edition. The problem is the house is up on 144. Now they went through and cleaned out a tile. A lot of those houses are tied into a tile that kind of runs through that area, and so it gets clogged up, and so they put water through that to jettison it out, which then puts pressure on that system, and so sewage was kind of coming up through there, you know, because of what they did. It's not necessarily happening all the time. From what I understand, it was kind of this, you know, they know that the tile's broken. They know that the sewers on that house, that street is not functioning maybe properly because, of course, it's creating all this stuff. And, you know, it's something that has to be done eventually. So, I mean, I understand that part. There's ways to get sewer from 144 to Kenton without making it into this big thing. But, of course, it's expensive. So the idea is that if you do this additional regionalization, which means that you're taking this package plan at Root Edition, it's going to give you additional money, right? So you go, okay, this package plan isn't terrible. It's not in great shape, but it's still working. So we're going to regionalize, get rid of this package plant, put in a lift station, bring the houses on 144 Root Edition onto it, and then lift it down 309 to Jacob Parrott, because they've got a big connector piece right there. No word about Meyers Addition. I know Meyers Addition is in a tough spot. They have individual sewers there. Sometimes they share wells, but they have individual sewers and leach beds. Getting updates done on those houses is really tough. You've got to get variance and approval from the board and all those things. And it's just one of those projects that you go, it is coming down the pipe to have to deal with this. And here's the thing. These are country houses. They're on the township. But when the EPA comes in and says, hey, you have to fix this. The you that they're talking about is the county, right? The county is on the hook for anything that's outside of municipalities. And so they are the ones, and which is why Luke is kind of pushing this to say the county's going to be on the hook for this anyways. Let's get ahead of the game. Let's get this taken care of. But Meyers Addition should be in this grant process, right? Because if you're getting rid of country septics and you're bringing them on, so that's the part that I don't really understand. I don't understand. I mean, I would love to have new housing developments in Hardin County. I would particularly like to have them in Kenton, right? Because the housing market in Kenton, it's really at a plateau. And so having additional revenue in Kenton, kind of expanding its boundaries, getting water and sewer and utilities out that far, it could open up a whole new part of economic development, which, is a fair enough reason to, get monies to get utilities out that way if the communities were willing to annex in, right? That comes with water and city water and sewer and, street lights, street maintenance. It's a big thing to take on as a community, but it's doable. The problem is, is there a market for houses? Is that something that we can actually get in and then be able to annex into Kenton? So, there's a lot of factors where I'm doing as much research as I can and to find out and following along with the process. The commissioners are going to feed back to Wessler what they decided on the plan, and we'll just have to see from there. We'll see what they come up with engineering wise. I know Meyers is not completely excluded. They did talk about putting in a manhole there so that, when the time comes, you have to do laterals down the streets, would be the county responsibility to make sure those get put in, and then the houses will tie in. So they would have to pay to tie in, but to tie into a municipal septic is much cheaper than upgrading your original septic. And then sometimes it's just impossible because they don't have the sand filters that they used to have. You can't just fix them. You have to adhere to the new regulations and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It is a interesting scenario that we're looking at, and we'll see where it goes from here, but keep your eye on it, and I'll get you updated as soon as I find anything out. All right. Thank you much.